Hi friends, welcome to Mastering the Charmed Life with Kelly McClure. That's me. Hi. This is my special guest today, my niece Lauren McClure, and we are going to create an amazing charmed meal for you today, show you how to eat kind of more healthy, because that is something we've been doing to lift our vibration, and this is a really fabulous meal. Some of you know that I've been sharing that for the last few years I've been in a really dark place and in a funk and trying to come out of a deep depression, and I truly believe that we are all capable of creating and manifesting and mastering an extraordinary life. But we all go through funks sometimes, and that's just part of the human experience.
Yeah.
So this one was really, really dark and lasted a long time. And there's lots of reasons for that I won't go into right now, but we've been working Lauren's been going through some hard times too in the last few years. And she's been working really hard to bring her life back into an exciting and sane adventure,
yes.
Right? So it takes a lot of work to come out of that depression, so we decided that we would help each other out. So I've been staying over at her lovely new home and for several weeks now, and it actually, I've been here over 3 weeks probably, right?
Has it been that long?
Yeah, I think it's been about 3 weeks.
Doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it because we have so much fun together. Before, probably about a week and a half ago, I was suffering from insomnia for, honestly, in about a 3-week time span, I only got about probably a total of 6 hours sleep. It was really, really bad. You'll see some footage of that just in the middle of the night, me just struggling with trying to sleep and not being able to. And it got so bad that I really understand what they say when, that used to be a torture technique, is to deprive someone of sleep for weeks on end. I couldn't function, I couldn't think, I had to cancel appointments, I certainly couldn't even start filming my show. So I decided to come over and work with Lauren, and we've been working together and supporting each other. We reached out for help with other like-minded people and people that were also bringing themselves out of that kind of deal. So getting help, asking for help is always really important.
Yes.
And I think really the two most important things in mastering the charmed life and getting out of depression to start with is accepting responsibility, that state of mind really does belong to you. It's not really life or problems that cause it. It's something going on with you. I mean, you might have events in your life that make you sad, and grief is certainly part of it, but it is our own state of mind. So we're taking responsibility and asking for help, which is what I did.
Yeah.
And my fabulous niece, who is also coming out of her own space, offered to help, and we've been working really hard. So the steps that we are taking are small, but we work on it every single day. So it's been about 3 weeks. And I woke up today feeling pretty darn good. Like for the first time in a long, long time, I had what I would call a little bit of enthusiasm. I was kind of excited to be doing this. The other thing that we've been doing, aside from supporting each other, reaching out for help, journaling, is trying to eat healthier. So we thought we would bring a very charmed meal to you.
Yay!
Right? Okay, so Lauren, why don't you tell us what we're making today?
Okay. We are doing some big, beautiful stuffed portobello mushrooms. We're gonna put some spinach and some artichoke in there.
Like a stuffing that goes in it? Yummy.
And then you have the butternut squash mash.
Yeah,
And
I think it's called honey and thyme butternut squash.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite vegetables and my absolute favorite squash in the whole wide world. And it's so versatile, and you can do tons of things with it. You can make soups with it, you can make a mash with it, you can cube it like this and leave it cubed. We're not going to do that, but this is fabulous. It's sweet and delicious, and all it needs is a little salt and pepper to be delicious. But we're gonna do a little more with that today.
Just want to pull up my recipe here.
Lauren's just double checking the recipe, make sure we got everything we need. Always double check.
Yes. Okay.
Especially if you have an expanded mind like us.
I'm sure we'll forget something.
We've never really done this before as a team in front of a camera, so bear with us. This is our
It's
first
gonna be
time.
fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be charming. All right, so I'm gonna start because the butternut squash takes a little bit longer
Yeah.
to cook than the mushrooms.
Right.
So we're gonna start with that. So we're gonna start with a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon and a half or so of olive oil. We just put it in there. This is a measuring system, but I just poured it. Now we're gonna put a little bit of butter. This is whipped butter. The recipe calls for about a tablespoon, but I'm gonna put a little bit more because whipped butter has a lot of air in it. So we'll put a
Yes.
big tablespoon and a half or so of that right in the pan. We're gonna let it melt. We're gonna turn it on.
Should I do this?
And what kind of heat do we do?
This
Over
is a medium.
medium? Okay, we're gonna let it melt over a medium heat.
And then while that is cooking, we're just gonna put some olive oil and some salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic powder on the mushrooms and stick them right in the oven for about 7 to 9 minutes.
Mushrooms are in the oven.
Yes.
And we're getting our pan nice and hot because we don't want to brown the butter yet, but we want to kind of sear the butternut squash cubes a little bit. So we're getting it pretty hot first before we put our butternut squash in. And then in we go. And you can hear it sizzle. That's nice because that's going to sear it.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and put our thyme in with it. That's going to kind of open up and add some cool flavors. So here's a little bit of thyme. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And I'm just going to gently turn them and coat it a little bit so all sides are getting seared and getting a little bit of that nice oil and butter on it. Now we have, let me get rid of that piece. We have opted for, you can either, can you hand me one of those butternut squashes? You can buy your own, like this, and then you peel them, and you core them, and you cube it up, or we're taking a shortcut. And we got it all prepared at the grocery store, so you can do it that way as well.
Easy way.
Yeah.
Work smarter, not
Harder. Woo!
Okay, so while you're doing
So
that,
that's going.
I'm gonna go ahead and start. I just have a whole can, although we might not use all of this. We just have a whole can of drained whole artichoke hearts, and we'll just take these and kind of rough chop them here into some bite-sized little nice pieces. And then if you would like to start chopping my garlic over there.
Sure.
Could you
I'd
help
be
me
happy
with that?
to. So I've got about 3 little cloves of garlic here that I'm going to, we're gonna mince them, dice them.
Just a
Kinda
nice
dice?
chop, yeah.
All right, and it's
Pretty
fresh. I
small.
love to use fresh garlic.
You want to hand me that shallot? I'll go ahead and chop that up here.
Okay, Lauren's gonna chop up a shallot while I do the garlic.
And you can also use onion. It's just a little bit fancier.
Okay, let me do one of these.
Okay.
So I kind of find that when you're trying to move your vibration up, one of the most important things that you can do is try to get some healthy food in you. So I feel a lot better just on a day-to-day basis, just getting some healthy foods. And it hasn't been perfect. I've got a long way to go. But it certainly has helped our mood. Our mood's getting better every day. And our energy's getting a little better every day. Things that we talked about, we've been talking about over the last few weeks, that's really helped us kind of get focused on our, I guess, our recovery from depression is responsibility. So one of the best ways that I can kind of describe that is once when I was a little kid, I was about 13, I was babysitting these 2 little boys, and they got in trouble, so they had to do a timeout in their room. And that was what was required of me as the babysitter to do if they got in trouble. So they got in trouble. And I heard a lot loud noise in their room, but I just ignored it because I could tell they weren't getting hurt or anything. They were just playing around. And so when I went in their room after 5 minutes, the whole place was just, everything was out of the drawers, off the beds, off the shelves, all the toys were everywhere. And I just kind of went, wow. And I just had a thought, rather than get angry and punish them, to help them accept responsibility for this mess that I've created, I said, this is impressive. And they kind of went, what? And I'm like, you know what? You guys created this big, huge mess in just 5 minutes. I wonder if you could clean it up in like 4. So they were like, yeah, we can do it. And I set the timer, and they worked on cleaning up their room in like 4 minutes. And rather than punish ourselves for the state of mind that we're in, or what we've done to our lives, and the wreckage we've caused, and just trying to get out of it, that responsibility doesn't have to be blame and guilt, and it doesn't have to be a low vibration energy. It can be an exciting one. You take responsibility for where you're at. Go, wow, look at this mess I've created. And that gives you the power to clean it up. If you have the power to create it, you have the power to create something different. All right. So these are kind of seared, going pretty well here. We're going to start to steam them now. I'm just going to add a little bit of water.
Let's see if they're tender or not.
No, I don't think so.
Check them. Oh no. Oh yeah. So
They're just going to take a few minutes to,
and just put about, I could say, a quarter cup of water in there.
get off the heat for a second.
And then
We'll have to, let's turn this down.
yeah, turn it down to low, and then just let that
Just let them steam.
vibe out there for a second.
Okay, so we're just gonna put a little water, let them steam.
Cool.
So those will take 5 or so minutes, 10 minutes to steam and get nice and soft so we can smash them up.
Yes.
So, okay, you want to start that?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm just gonna take a saucepan and turn this guy on.
You're gonna put cream cheese and everything in the heat? Ooh.
Well,
fancy.
after it's all mixed together, we'll put that all in there.
Okay.
So we just take a bit of our olive oil, maybe about a tablespoon, a little less, 2 teaspoons of olive oil. And we're gonna throw, I'll do half of this shallot because we're only making 2.
Yeah.
Half a shallot, and then
We've cut the recipe way down because we're the only ones eating it tonight.
Yes.
So.
And then if you want to put that garlic, a lot of garlic.
Yeah, I like a lot.
So put all of it in there. And then we're just gonna let this, can you hand me the salt?
Salt.
And then just a little sprinkle of salt to help it move along. And we're just gonna let this cook for a little while. And then we'll put our artichoke hearts in and the spinach. It's gonna look like a lot of spinach, but it shrinks down a lot. It goes from like this to like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are our little next steps. And
Yummy! It's smelling really good in here, guys.
oh yeah,
It's starting to smell.
Oh,
You can smell
yeah.
the thyme. You can start to smell the onions as they cook.
mm-hmm.
So the metaphor is that every little stage of our journey upward into a higher vibration is kind of like cooking. Like
Yeah.
every little stage, it just starts to get better and better and better until you just have this wonderful, charming meal and charming life. And and yeah, we're gonna go through stuff again, but then you have the tools and
Right.
you have the strategy to get out of it, and you can. And I think that was a big one for me. Is like when it started getting really bad for a long time, I still knew, because of my history and coming out of that kind of stuff before, I still knew I would come out of it. I still knew that all the principles that I teach and all the principles that I practice work, and that you really can manifest a charmed life regardless of where you're at now and regardless of your history. So if you want to know a little bit more about my history, look it up, Kelly McClure. I got quite a story. It's not even all on there yet. Okay, what next?
I'm gonna take about 3/4 of these artichokes and put them in there because I cut too many.
So I'm just gonna check the squash, make sure that it's getting nice and soft. Oh yeah, most of the pieces are nice and soft. Oh, some of them are real soft. Let's see if there's any.
That's good.
There's one that's kind of hard. So see how it's starting to break up a little bit, and yeah, just another minute or so, I think it'll be good.
Cool. I'm gonna go grab the spinach and throw that in here.
All right, yet another piece of the puzzle, one more step in the char meal.
While it looks like a lot, you'll see that it'll shrink down, like I said, a lot. Give that little stir. And
I love spinach now. And when I was a little kid, I didn't like it. And I was forced to eat it one time at the table when I was really little. So just to show them, I threw up all over the table.
You showed them.
I showed them.
All right.
Okay, so this is probably good and done. The squash just needs to be able to smash up. It's got some nice color on it, and it's got some, which will add a lot of nice flavor. Yep, it's done.
So, we're gonna grab a big bowl and throw the butternut squash in there.
I'll go over
We
here.
always have this big guy.
Oh yeah, let's use that.
And we're gonna grab the half and half from over there. And
How much half and half? We're gonna put half and half, it's gonna be so good.
about a quarter of a cup. And then we also
That was awesome. Okay, so a quarter of a cup and half, and we put in before we start mashing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we've never done this before, but it's gonna be awesome.
Just checking on my spinach here. It's looking
So,
good.
are you sure a quarter cup with this amount? 'Cause we
Yeah.
only, okay. Just checking. All right, there goes a half and half.
And then you can mash that all up.
Okay, do we put the honey in yet?
No, we're gonna wait and fold the honey in later.
Okay, we're gonna mash it up.
Spinach is looking good. Oh yeah.
This is looking really good. You know, this is a pretty easy dish, but if you're struggling just to get something in you that's healthy, you can just do a little bit of salt and pepper, maybe a little butter on the squash. You can even just stick an entire squash like this in the oven just as it is, and it'll cook. It'll take about 40 minutes or so for one this size, up to an hour for a large one. See if a knife will go smoothly into it, take it out. It's much easier to cut open and scoop, sprinkle it with salt and pepper, and you can eat it right out of the shell. So getting healthy food isn't always hard. And it's those baby steps, the willingness to just do that. If you can just do that, you're gonna bring your vibration up that much more. You don't have to do this whole thing. So, but it's really, really a good vegetable, very, very healthy and very yummy. Okay, that looks pretty,
Yeah.
yeah?
So then we're gonna put a tablespoon of honey in.
Okay.
Good local wildflower honey. We
Yay.
love our bees. We'll use one of Weston's.
Okay. This is a little, so,
Yeah, that should be perfect right there. Or like a teaspoon
yeah.
for this amount. Okay. My spinach is shrinking up. It's looking good. I think I'm ready for my cream cheese and my Parmesan cheese.
Wow. It's getting there, huh?
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah, let that spinach go down a little bit more. I like it kind of like not too leafy.
Okay.
Looking good. Remember to give yourself, a little bit of credit when you're taking these steps, because a small step when you're in a deep depression, it's a big achievement. I mean, believe me, I understand, and I know that there are people out there going through stuff like this, and everything that we're experiencing in the whole world is really hitting people hard right now, and especially people who are extra-sensitive and empaths, and it's really hard to watch the news. I don't recommend it if you're in a depression. I know it's important to stay informed, but just this much goes a long way with the
Right.
news. But every little step that you take is a huge achievement. There were times in my life I was so depressed I couldn't even get out of bed, just getting out of bed. And I remember this one time, I was praying. I knew enough to pray because I do believe that there is something, some universal consciousness on our side, and it can help us. And so I asked, what do I do? I needed to get in the shower. I was in bed for 3 days. And I heard a little voice say, just pull back the covers, I'll do the rest. So I pulled back the covers, that's all I could do. Then I heard a little voice say, just slide your foot out onto the floor and I'll do the rest. And I mean, little by little, just stand up and I'll do the rest. And next thing I know, I was in the shower, which was a miracle. So I get it. We all go through something like that. And if you've never been through anything like that, have sympathy and compassion for those that do, because it's a real thing. It's real hard. Your vibration, it's like a weight on you. It almost makes you like paralyzed sometimes.
Yeah.
So take it easy. One step at a time.
Yes.
Okay, how's that coming?
Good.
Yeah, that looks good. Is this ready to eat?
Yeah, that's ready to go.
Salt and pepper do we need on it?
Yeah, you can put some salt and pepper in.
Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper on our squash. A little salt and pepper. I personally like a lot of pepper, so on my own plate, I'm gonna add more. Just gonna incorporate that in. Okay.
Okay, let me switch you spots.
Okay.
And then
All right, Lauren, what do you do next?
we are going to take a little bit of cream cheese, and it's probably about, I would say, 1/4 cup, but I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it.
Okay.
And then we're gonna take about another 1/4 cup of Parmesan, just grated Parmesan, and put it in here as well. And then we're just gonna stir that in.
It's looking good.
We can add a little bit of salt and pepper. And we're gonna take just a little bit of garlic powder, salt and pepper to taste, and then some dried parsley in there as well.
Looking good.
Mix that all in. Get nice and creamy.
That looks delicious.
That's wonderful. Then we're gonna get our cooked mushrooms from, I took them out of the oven. So I'm just gonna grab the mushrooms from back here. Clean up as you go.
I don't ever clean up as I go.
Then I'm gonna get a tablespoon for scooping. And these mushrooms look a little flat, but that's okay. We can just take our little filling here and pile it right on top.
While she's doing that, I just want to remind you guys that after taking responsibility for the mess we've created, another really important step in getting better, getting well, is asking for help. And that's why I've asked Lauren for help with this tonight, because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to cook, and she's a really good cook, so it's important to ask for help and then accept that help, receive that help, use that help, take it. Take some suggestions from somebody who's been through it and knows how to get themselves to a higher vibration. So responsibility is important, owning your stuff, even if it's hard, even if it doesn't seem like it's your fault. And depression isn't your fault, but it's still within your consciousness, so it's still yours. You just want to know that it's our responsibility, that it's our depression, and that we can do something about it, that we have the power to do something about it, little bit at a time. So, and I will also say, one of the things I did to ask for help, and it took a long time to get there because I didn't really want to take any medications, is I finally called a doctor and I got, not a narcotic, but it's like a little bit stronger of a medicine than over-the-counter sleep aid, because of the over-the-counter stuff. I even resorted to that, and it wasn't making a dent getting me to sleep. It just made me feel horrible. So I'm able to get 3-4 hours, sometimes 5 hours sleep a night now, which is a lot for me, and I'm feeling better every day. So we're gonna try it now. We've never made this before. It smells and looks delicious. And I just wanna thank you so much for helping me, because I did ask for help and you helped me and you came through. We're gonna give it a try now. So here goes.
Cheers.
I'm gonna try the squash first. Lots of pepper. Ready? Mm. Oh yeah.
Oh my
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm. That cream in there really adds a nice texture and flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But all that squash flavor comes through as well.
That was really good.
Mmm. Again, if you're not up for doing all that, it's good on its own.
Ready
Okay.
to try the mushroom?
This is our entree. Ready?
A little spinach,
Mm-hmm.
a little artichoke. Okay.
Oh my god. Mmm.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow.
That is like 10 times better than I even imagined.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren, that rocks.
Yeah.
You can
I
taste
don't
it.
even have words.
You can taste every little thing in there. You got the right amount of onion, garlic, the artichoke in there. Oh, that portobello is perfectly cooked. Mmm. Couldn't have done this without you. Thank you for helping me create such a charming meal. It is delicious. We'll post the recipe for you.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't make it up. We got it online. Thank you guys. And you know what? You too can do this, and you got this. You can manifest, and you can master a very charmed life. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Mm. Mm. I forgot what I was going to tell you about that. Oh, as I'm, blah, 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 blah.